please welcome Conscioux. Did I say that right? Conscioux.
Everybody says it wrong. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming tonight. So first of all, this is going to be a really hard presentation to follow such impressive presentations that came first and second. So I'll try my best. My name is Silvia Tower, CEO and co-founder of Conscioux. We're a preventive healthcare app that focuses on the benefits of plant-based eating. So going off of what was said in the first presentation, food really will be the future of medicine. Preventive healthcare is a field that has been growing over the past 5 years. Until now, we are in a situation where Americans don't start caring about their cholesterol until they get a heart attack, then it becomes a priority. Given that heart attacks are the #1 killer in the country, I guess the toggle's lost, whatever. That's what we're here for. So this is our founding team, me, my co-founder, and Kelsey, her husband. We've been passionate plant-based eaters for the past 10 years, and we really come at it from a health perspective. So we both have been cured from diseases by going onto a plant-based diet. So the problem statement, as I mentioned initially, we're in the midst of a health epidemic. U.S. corporations spend billions annually on employee healthcare, and Americans are living more sick years due to diseases caused by overeating, such as diabetes, food-caused cancers, such as breast cancer and prostate cancer, obesity, hypertension, just to mention the #1. So yeah, heart attack as a #1 killer, but most especially nowadays, the average American spends 20 years having a chronic illness before dying. 30 years ago, that was 10 years. So due to the state of the current way of eating, of the average, we call it the standard American diet, people are as sick as they have ever been. Secondly, there is a market gap calling for lifestyle medicine, also called preventive health programs. Both the startups that went before me are preventive health, so I guess this is a positive sign that it's finally picking up. And then the third reason, which is personal and it's really tied to the values that helped us start Conscioux, we're in the midst of the worst climate change crisis in human history, together with being in a health crisis. According to an article that came out in The Guardian last week, we have 12 years before we have done irreversible damage to the Earth. So this is a small motivation that ties into environmental health, not only into human health. But we find that people who transition to plant-based diets and to preventive healthcare lifestyle programs tend to realize this and like this as a motivator to switching lifestyles. So as I mentioned, our mission is to help reverse food-caused diseases such as obesity and heart conditions, and we strive to be the #1 preventive healthcare platform chosen by employers, cities, and health insurance companies to lower the cost of healthcare. We're starting with cities. Right now, we're talking to the city of Boston as our first corporate customer. And what we do, so right now our app is out in beta, and I was actually demoing it back there. What we do is we support people in progressively changing their lifestyle and transitioning to a mostly whole foods plant-based diet. So we're not telling people go vegan, we're not telling people to go protest on the streets, but what we are saying is include more whole foods, plant-based, unprocessed foods that you can pronounce into your diet, and that will eventually help you prevent diseases such as heart conditions, hypertension, diabetes, and all that stuff. So our solution is an app that helps people set realistic health goals and tackle them through diet. So we keep track of various factors such as weight, cholesterol levels, blood pressure, but also factors that are not tangible, such as stress, such as happiness. And in the future, we hope to use these as long-term predictors for conditions such as hypertension. Of course, the problem with most healthcare apps nowadays is that people feel that entering their information is a drag, entering their weight, entering their blood pressure. So what we do is we created a gamified system, a point-based gamified system that makes it fun to work on your health. Also, eventually, since this is an app to be used by employers, we have a system where employers can keep track of their employees' efforts for preventing and reversing obesity, heart disease, and all the diseases I've been mentioning before. And we give an option for extra health. So for working with a real person that will help you set structure, and work towards your health goals. Okay, so this is a demo video. Hopefully it will work. It should work. So this is a screenshot of where our platform is at today. As you can see, we have a tool to enter stress levels, happiness, and weight. Also write notes. The idea is right now we're offering a free version as our beta. It's available to the public for use. But then we also offer a paid version of the app where you can already start working with a registered dietitian and with a health coach to make changes. And this is a small screenshot of what the health coach is able to see, but also what your employer or your insurance would be able to see. We have a social component of the app where you get to interact with other people. In fact, we are developing an algorithm to match you with other people that are compatible with your lifestyle for accountability. And we offer perks and recipes that are supposed to help you change your, pretty much change your lifestyle and transition to a healthier lifestyle, way of living. And it's not working. Well, anyways, the next slide was just a question slide. Thank you. Any questions? Yes.
Employers and insurance companies would have access to your personal data. What do you do in terms of privacy protection?
Yeah, that's a good question. We're actually... Sorry? Oh, yeah. So employers and insurance companies would have access to employee personal data. So we are working on, like, as I mentioned, we have somebody working on some algorithms, working on some indexes. Of course, ideally, one path that we are exploring is to give consent. So think of it in terms of like an employee, think of it in terms of somebody who has like a cholesterol level of 220 milligrams per deciliter of blood, and think of the risk, like how high the risk is for this person to get a heart attack. Obviously, the employer has a vested interest in like them becoming healthier. So we're hoping to work with consent, but otherwise we're developing an algorithm to basically mask the data and to act as the party that that shows the value. That was not very well explained. Sorry for that. Does this make sense? Yeah, so we are HIPAA compliant. That's why we do have to ask. That's why we do have to ask consent for. And the paid the free beta that is available on the internet right now only tracks data that does not have to be HIPAA compliant. So in case you want to play around with the app and check it out. 100%. So yeah, there is a free version of the app that is open to the public right now. Yeah, that exists. Yes.
Do you plan to share the data with third parties?
Well, in that case, obviously, we're talking about HIPAA compliance. So like we would have to get, we're basically still working it out. We always ask consent. So for example, we work with contractors for registered dietitians and nutritionists. In that case, we do have to share the data with third parties. But that's something we're working around the whole data privacy thing. Any other questions? Great. Thank you all so much.